Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to The Old World Lives, a Warhammer Fantasy Battles podcast. You can find us on Facebook at The Old World Lives, on Instagram at The Old World Lives, and you can reach us by email at theoldworldlives@gmail.com. And now, on to the episode. Hello and welcome to episode 10, and I'm Christopher, and with me tonight I got Christopher.
Hello.
And Jimmy.
Hello.
And tonight, we're going to run through this quite quickly because we got a nice little pre-recorded segment with Jimmy and Niklas talking about their Goblin and Kislev campaign over the holiday season.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
You were playing some unknown place, right? Like a basement or just some generic games club, wasn't it?
It is a basement that me and some friends are renting from this big apartment house.
Actually, I was trying to be facetious.
It used to be like some kind of storage place, but we were like, we want to rent this. We want to be here and play games. And they were like, well, we'll see what we can do. And we ended up with the place. It's great.
They're like, are y'all into the drugs? Are y'all into Satan? Are y'all gay? You're like, no, no, and no. Well, welcome.
The drug den of Yavla.
So basically what he was trying to say here is they were playing for the wonderful open plains of Kislev and Fort Jakova in the mountains of the Well-States Mountains, and I can't speak. That's not that unusual, given that I usually fuck up when I speak.
You need to drink more.
I usually don't swear either, so that was funny.
You should do like me and have a glass of rum.
I might have had some Vitapal, which is a really lovely Swedish absinthe. So let's move on. Do any one of you have any hobby progress?
Yes.
Oh! I'll start.
No, I don't want to go after Jimmy.
No, you have to.
Oh.
So, like many of you have seen, I've recently been doing Mordheim stuff, models based upon artwork from the rulebook. And I'm currently starting to paint them, but there's still about 3 to 4 models I still want to build from the artwork.
Want to give us any spoilers on which models those might be?
Which I built or that I'm painting?
Well, the one you wanted to build.
Ones I want to build. Oh yeah. No spoilers, because I've only decided 1 out of 3.
Well, fair enough.
Jimmy, are you a wizard? Because I keep looking at your shit, and that's just the level of work and the amount of capability and character you put into everything that you do in reference to old Banshean art is just... Please tell me you're some kind of bizarre resin wizard so I can feel better about myself, because seriously, that is a tremendous accomplishment on your own. It looks so good.
I sold my soul. That's it. No trading whatsoever. I only sold my soul. Promise. Honest.
Sadly, that was all you got out of it.
Yeah, it was.
But on the other hand, it is a nice talent to have.
Fell mortal, thou hast summoned me. What deal do we? Just take my soul, and let me do everything from the old Mordheim book exactly the way it looks. Yes, and you want riches and women. And no, that would interfere my great work. Just give me the ability to do exactly everything as in the book. Well, okay.
Are you sure? Yes.
Wouldn't you like at least want like some kind of money or gold or women? No, thank you. Not too much money. It would be a distraction. And the women never help me out. They just get in the way with the clothes and the nakedness. Just let me do my work. It's a good deal, to be honest, Jimmy.
I thought so too. So, well, that's what I've been. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Any of you, Chris? What have you been doing? First, Chris.
When I'm not imagining these hypothetical scenarios in which demons appear and throw naked women and cash at Jimmy, I've made one Necrarch vampire thrall. Oh god, I love that old 6-head sculpt, which is actually a model I got fairly happy with. I think it's one of the first things I've done for fantasy that I felt satisfied with. I will never get the likes that any of you other do. Thanks. I mean, it could be better, but for me, I feel good about it. Then I made a Vargulf, which I think y'all have seen by now, and I made another Blood Dragon vampire count.
Then I posting those on our Instagram.
I did. when I finished them 2 weeks ago. Since then, I have not done a lot. Oh, no. The side shame. The burn. God damn, Chris.
Oh, the burn.
Yeah. My next step is I don't know where to go from here. I think I'm going to do like 15 shields for my grave guards or something. I need to get a game in. So I know what direction I want to take this army in right now.
Speaking of which, when it comes to games, just going to do a side note here. If anyone can convince Krell that it's actually worth going up to Gävle in the end of February, please tell him, because he's really annoying. We're never going to solidify and post a date or anything. He's just going to have to see. I have to wait and see. There might be more plague. I mean, who get that much plague? Plague is not that good for you.
I think we set a date now, didn't we? We settled on it. Am I wrong, Jimmy? We have a date
It's
now,
not
right?
written in blood yet.
Well, I know that we did. We're not sure that you did.
Well, I'm coming. I'm a-coming. Unless someone gets super sick.
So everyone's going to road trip with Jens, I think.
Well, at least maybe me if Jens is going, because probably easier for Krell to take the train. But that's travel plans. And Krell, did you have any other hobby progress you've been doing?
Eldar? No, but I should start. I need to get started on my wood elves. I have made a commitment that 2019 is the year I finish up some of my wood elves, which should be at least like a 500-point game. They should be ready for that. Fortunately, we're in February, so I've got 10 months to bank on.
You got 10 months to fail.
I'm like the American banking system. I'm too big to fail.
Yeah.
I had my health check last week. I'm officially too big to fail. Once we extracted that doctor from my immediate way of just circling around me, winding up in my orbit, it worked out fine. So, about Chris, other Chris, real Chris, what have you been up to?
Trees. I've been making trees.
Got wood, huh?
Yeah, I have to compensate in some way. No, but I've been working on a lot of terrain pieces lately. So I've posted, as we speak, one of the photos I took of the monolith / soulstone thing. And I post some more because there's some details that wasn't visible in that one. There's going to be a photo of the shrine I've built. And then there's going to be more photos for all the stuff I'm doing now. So there's going to be loads of photos. That's nice. I'm making a lake as well. And then I'm making trees, because we all need trees, don't we?
Yeah. Trees are needed.
More wood needed.
Your base needs more wood. You require wood to build buildings.
Yeah, shit. Imagine if Niklas was here, we'd have to explain Warcraft 1. He's like, oh yeah, I know about World of Warcraft, and we'd have to explain it.
And then he tries to put World of Warcraft raid armor on all of his miniatures again.
He'd be so angry when he hears this. We miss you, Niklas. Come home.
Yeah, and I really love those Age of Sigmarine dwarfs you're making.
Why are you doing this?
Also, I've been prepping and painting, because I'm currently painting 20 of the finest spearmen of the Dark Elves I've ever put forth, or something other grandiose like that. No, but I'm painting spearmen that will be played as City Guard from the Garrison list for 6th edition when we go up to Gävle and play, because why not? They're cool. And there's going to be 40 of them in total.
Nice.
And a Lord and a Sorceress and a Chariot, I think it was. There might be a Reaper Bolter in there as well.
I can barely wait to throw my fanatics into them.
No, you're not.
Yeah, that's why they're going to stand back as far as they can and then just shoot you to death. And then realize that you've killed like 8 goblins.
Do you remember 50 goblins, 136 points?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I really remember that 10 wars with shield and command is under 30, I think.
I'll send
these wars have crossbows.
Of skeletons at them.
Yeah, but it will be fun. And that is what I'm currently working on, all of those.
Yeah.
So it will be nice.
Sometime in the future, we should really have a segment about making terrain.
Yeah. If anyone, our listeners, want any particular pieces of terrain that they want us to talk about, please do. Send in an email or a message on Facebook or something.
Yeah, because we have the full gamut of ranges. We have Jens and Niklas. They can do different sort of like human-based terrain. We know that Jimmy definitely can do the burrows and the necessities of making a rat warren or goblin tents. And you can do pretty much anything. And I can sit in the back and just nod vociferously, forgetting that we are on a podcast and on a TV.
You know, I will never build terrain ever.
No, he's hires people.
Jimmy, what's your solution to buying this? You take a wad of money, you find a nerd, and you throw the money at him. You'll
Yes,
get terrain. It's a good thing.
yes, it's a good thing. I'm part of the economy.
Speaking of which,
of terrain,
yeah,
let's move on
Yeah.
to some news that will be of stuff that will be released. I think
Well,
it's
actually,
this
I,
coming weekend.
actually, I have something before that I'm going to surprise my co-host with
Ooh.
because everybody loves me going off. Do you guys know about a company called Fabled Realms Miniatures?
Nope.
Yeah, I think so. I heard.
They have a line of terrain called the Haunted City of Mordheim.
Oh yeah.
that's
Now I know.
That's the company's foreground,
That's-
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
The line is
That's
Fabled
foreground.
Realms.
The MDF terrain.
Yeah, I just linked you, and they have some beautiful Mordheim terrain. They have
Yeah,
like
they do.
high-scale streets and taverns where you lift off the roof and you can lift off the middle, and you have like a several tiered building. They even have like
I think-
watchtowers
Yeah,
and everything.
They have the terrain they have there are based upon both Mordheim and Marienburg actually,
I can imagine.
because a lot of the things there are part of like a harbor town. So it's really nice terrain, and you can buy it pre-painted, which is good.
Yeah, because this looks really good. I mean, the price is, I guess, in Swedish kroners, it's pretty affordable. It's like, what is it?
It is
30 bucks.
affordable. Yeah,
30 bucks for an entire house.
I think it's affordable, and if you don't want to paint a lot of the things, you can buy them pre-painted. They are kind of brightly painted, but some washes and whatnot can solve that. Or if you're into oils,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or
Anything.
some AK effects, because they got
Yeah.
for wood and they got for moss and stone and everything.
If
Yeah.
I didn't hate human beings and I actually role played, this is the sort of thing I imagine that my indulgeful game master would get, because it's like MDF houses with several tiers. It's basically perfect if you want to do an infiltration role playing session or like a garrison or a town. They even have the tavern from Baldur's Gate 1, the Friendly Arms Inn, but it's called the Stoic Arms.
Yeah, that one is £130 for those that are interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, that's money well spent.
Well,
And
given the level of detail and that it's basically have every level or every there's on the entire building separate if you want to. It's worth it.
Sorry, now back to what y'all were talking about.
Yes.
Yes.
New terrain.
Well, we can start off with something that's actually linked to the terrain, and that is a box that might be a good deal if you want to start either or both of these armies. And I know that both of you tangentially play this.
Are you
Yeah.
talking about Wrath and Rapture?
No,
kidding.
he's talking
No.
about the Carian Empire, where they sell both Skaven Clan Scryer and the Flesh Eater Courts, as they are known in Age of Sigmar, but we only call them the
Ghoul King
ghouls.
Empires.
Yep.
Yeah, for
The
what I guess.
Strigoi.
Yeah, the Strigoi. I guess for what's going to be like $100, you get 20 ghouls, 3 crypt fiends, and those. What's the insane vampires now again? Help me out.
You get 2 boxes of ghouls, 2 boxes of crypt horrors, which can be
Yes.
built into those things with wings. And then you get a new model, which is a vampire, a ghoul king, which
He looks pretty good.
Yeah, he does. For the older editions, he is known as a Strigoi vampire.
Bloodline.
Yes. And
Or
on
in
Skaven-
7th edition, I think it's just a bloodline power called like the Under King or the Forgotten Vampire or something. God knows what.
Who knows?
What does Skaven get,
Because
Jimmy?
they are forgotten. The Skaven gets 3 Storm Fiends, which are huge weaponized rat ogres. They can have like wearing blades. They can have wind globe launchers, and they can have rattling guns all over.
Can they also have like the warp stone infused punch dagger fists?
Yeah, I think they use those as drills.
Oh yeah.
Somehow. And they get 1 Doom Wheel, which is a big hamster wheel. We all love it. We get a Warp Lightning Cannon, which can be built into a Plague Clock Catapult as well. And they also get a new Warlock Engineer armed with the fabled no, I don't. Doom Rocket. Doom Rocket is what it's called. The fabled Doom Rocket from the 7th edition army book.
Yeah, and the Doom Rocket is usually something you'd see a lot if you watch mini wargaming, because you always have like a barebone engineer with that thing.
Yeah, I've used it a lot of times myself, and I've killed more of my own guys than my enemies at times. It's a fun thing.
You're
But that's a
Skaven.
Skaven way.
Yeah.
Yes, that
You've
is
killed
true
potential
Skaven, yeah.
usurpers to your one true rat given power before
So
they could betray you.
I think most of people actually know what all of these standard bits and bobs in this box look like. But I want to hear your opinions on the two characters. Let's start with the vampire.
Okay, so basically, unless you've seen this thing, you really should, but you're hitting pretty much all of the stats that you need for a Strigoi King. He has like a malformed, deformed wing glove, looking sort of like Azrael, the damned guy from the first Blood Omen Soul River game. He's got a tarnished piece of torn armor on his left arm, which looks like a twisted pauldron. I hope to God that's not from like a Stormcast or something. He's clinging on to a sort of ruin as if he's going to leap down on his erstwhile enemies. And he's got like this screaming, angry Max von Schreck in Nosferatu from 1912 face, which is exactly what you want. My concern is if you rank him up, you're going to have difficulties fitting him unless you put him on the very front of the base. If you put him, say, riding on something, I think Jimmy and anyone else could probably make it work. You did saw off the waist and just reposition him, but he could probably be riding a zombie dragon, which is always a solid choice for your Ghoul King. I think he looks pretty good overall. I'm ranking him 7 out of 10. He looks very different from the other Ghoul King option that you get. So I think that's a definite plus. Any sort of variety you can have is very positive. I can see him in a range of colors. I'm not really a fan of the color that GW gives their new ghouls, which is sort of offset green one. It makes them look a bit too much like Angry Vampire Hulk to me. So I'd probably go paler and build up from like a red shade. I think Jimmy gave a tip from red shade up just to different palings of white. So yeah, I'm gonna come out positive. I would have preferred if you could put a weapon in his hand or something, but the Strigoi game-wise and lore-wise do not use weapons. They're not even allowed to have magical weapons way back in 6. They can only have their inherent powers.
They weren't really the most favored of vampires in 6th edition.
My one complaint would be, and I don't know if it's still in Age of Sigmar, a Strigoi Ghoul King as opposed to a vampire actually has one higher strength and toughness. So I'd like to see him a bit more sinewy strong or just a bit beefier than generic vampire. But that's probably just nitpicking on my behalf. Jimmy, what do you think about your drill erection rat engineer?
Well, I'm kind of split on him. Because when you look at the model, it looks like he's riffing on his guitar. And there's a lot of things going on the model, which I think is too much for a hero level character. Overall, he looks kind of he looks he looks scryery. So I give them that because he had this backpack with electrical surges going out from little pieces of warpstone. He have a small chimney. He have strangely an armor. I'm kind of against armor on my warlocks. But this is an Age of Sigmar model, and they apparently wear armor in Age of Sigmar.
Can I ask you, what do you think about the sort of little rat escaping from the brass tube he's standing on?
That's the thing I kind of like about it. I like when well, let's say bases come to life, and this makes the base come to life on the model. So I think it's a nice piece. It looks it kind of reminds me on the Skaven cover on the 6th edition Skaven army book, when there's an engineer standing on top of a dwarf cannon. Otherwise, it's a neat paint job on it. The rocket itself looks really nice, which I'm happy about. Everything on it has a function. I mean, the rocket itself is linked to his backpack, and when he pulls the trigger, some energy goes out to a small piece of birdstone, which ignites the rocket itself, and it flies off.
How many warpstone tokens out of 10 would you give it?
I would give him 5 because he's okay.
So is he a good conversion base then?
Yes, it would be. I would be happy to base, what's it called? A chieftain out of him. Warlock. No, not a warlock chieftain. As clan scryer themed chieftain. He have potential. I give him that. But he will, if you use him for older editions, he will be hard to place on a small 20 millimeter base, which is the biggest problem with the model. I think he stands on a 32 millimeter base. So with some work, it can be done. You can make a large scenic base, or well, you can make him take up more room in the unit than he should be, like I did with my Orc Warboss.
Mm-hmm.
I say something about the Skaven box. I think it feels a nice stopgap because, as Chris and you have said before, if you ever want to get into plague cults, you can get like the plague cult starter box. And if you just want Skaven slaves, you can still get regimental box. But if you ever want to start like a Skyer, there's Skyer, right? The Techno guys.
Yeah, the Clan Scryer.
Then this is a pretty solid base. You could make rat ogres out of those storm vermins if you don't allow if you don't allow the end times armies, or you could make a nice bone ripper. I mean, you could convert them pretty easily. And I think just the Doom Wheel, I'm going to be curious for the price about this, but Doom Wheel and the Lightning Cannon is probably going to be a pretty good price, particularly if you know anyone who plays a Ghoul King's army or Undead, because you always need more ghouls.
Yeah, you truly do. Ghouls are supposed to be all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And also, there's going to be some terrain, right?
Yeah, that's good. Let's move on before I say what I want to say about the Ghoul character.
You don't like it?
It's more of, if you happen to have a spare base from your Sanguinius, he would fit perfect on that. But let's move on. Let's move on and talk about the Gnaw holes.
I'm sorry,
Shit,
but
guys, I gotta complain a bit.
Really sounds like a sexual slur that Jimmy invented himself.
Hush you. I need to complain.
Okay.
There's vortexes in the Gnaw holes. I hate them.
But that's because you can drop between realms in them. Probably.
I plan to buy these pieces of terrain. The Gnaw holes are like burrowing holes with wooden structures around it and a spiraling vortex in the middle.
And some of the braziers from the plague furnace.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it looks those braziers looks amazing. My plan with this piece of terrain is to remove the vortex and make it a mine shaft.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That wouldn't be too hard. That wouldn't be too hard.
No. And make something like some other wooden structure with a rope or chain or whatever hanging down into the abyss.
I think these would work great for like a siege themed around the underwarrens of a dwarf mine, because basically you dig a big hole, then you throw slaves to throw up the wooden structures, then you bring up the valuable parts of your army. I think you've got a real great idea there, Jimmy.
Yes, I hate great ideas because they are always bad. Another bad idea for me, they are selling these amazing Skaven dice. It's like
yeah,
obsidian rock with small chinks of warpstone in them to show the numbers, and the number of the horned rat showing off as a 6. Lovely.
Yeah, they're really well done because you can clearly see what they're supposed to be, opposed to some of these dice we can't really read whatever they're supposed to show.
Yeah, I don't.
The fancy symbol on the 1 or something like that, and just have a regular 6, which is always perplexing.
Yeah, I don't want to be a piece of shit, Jimmy, but then I'm going to be one.
You are always a piece of shit, Krell.
Yeah, but this time not intentionally. I just want to give you like a buyer's beware, because my friend got over the moon for the Death Guard dice, which look fairly similar to these. And apparently when you throw them, they're really wonky because they will flip over and show like the highest number a bit too often. I don't know if that was just his rolling, but apparently they had some.
My Skaven won't mind.
These are similar to the squig dice, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the squig dice, they're rubber, so they really bounce.
Did you ever get those? Did you ever buy the squig dice?
Also, there are some endless spells kind of things. People might want to use them for terrain projects, but I'm looking at the swarm of rats. I'm going to place that swarm. I'm going to place this swarm upon a base that is 5 inches across and use it as my Vermintide marker, because I love Vermintide.
Yeah, but
And
then you're
sorry
gonna
for
have to
ruining
get.
people's ears here.
Then you have to have one for every Vermintide you place.
But the Vermintide is
Yeah.
only you use it once and then it's gone.
No, if you use a marker, you discard it. So then you have to
No.
use a new marker.
Yeah, you
You're
have
the
to
one who
throw
has
it
to
away.
discard
You have to
your
throw it
markers.
away after all raid then use it.
I will throw it in the face of Krell every time.
You already do that when you put the spell.
I know, isn't it fun?
It's like when someone tells me, "Oh, now your skeleton has to take a leadership test." I'm like, "Why are we doing this dance? Just ask me to put him in a box." Jeez.
Well, at least you
So-
don't have to face Quark's Warpath yet.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds horrible.
On the other hand, you did say you weren't playing Skaven next time, so
Yeah, I'm gonna play my goblins. So
now let's
Prepare.
move on to the horsies.
No.
yes.
But wait,
the
I've got a question.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about these, like, I don't know how to describe them. It's like tremendous warp stone.
Warpstone vortexes.
Yeah. Shooting
Like a
lightning in
bell.
every direction.
That's I think you could use them for terrain projects. Otherwise,
Or Storm of Magic.
yeah,
The bell could be quite nice to have laying around.
yeah. I'm thinking of a diorama based upon the what's it called? The game Total War Warhammer 2 when you play
Oh, yeah.
Skaven, where they skitter leap a screaming bell upon a big war machine, and it kind of hovers in the air before it's teleported up.
I think you should just build a diorama of the little rat in the rocket that tries to steal the moon.
Yeah.
Imagine how silly it'd be if the Skaven ever managed to blow up a moon. Jeez, what a bad idea.
Where have I heard that?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, right. It never happened.
that would be very silly. It's a silly place. Let's not go there.
So, Krell, how about
Yeah.
the giant goblet made of bones carried by red stuff?
Oh my god. Speaking of busy models, did anyone ever ask for a giant goblet filled with skulls
With
forming a
souls.
blood fountain carried on another bloodied fountain just wandering around in the air?
It's
What
the most
kind-
blood. It's the most blood angel thing I've ever seen.
What kind of fucking
I want
magic
it.
do you fucking have in Age of Sigmar where you
I
have
want
a
it.
bone chalice carried around in a blood cloud? Who the hell came up with this? I get
I
the
want
zombie
it.
horses. I get the zombie wall. That could make a decent train piece. I'm probably going to use it, even though it's
Unit
flawed in
filler,
this song.
unit filler, unit
Yes,
filler.
but I'm sorry. Oh fuck. The only thing that I could use this for would be if I took a very good saw, separated the tremendous bloodied chalice, and then I have like a warlock or wizard carried on a green cloud of incandescent death magic, I guess. And then I take the content from the cup and use it as a base filler for my corpse cart. And then I can use the goblet for, I don't fucking know, something. Maybe the coven handmaidens
why-
from the blood throne just lying around in it.
You know, you could put this thing on a cart and use it as your play cart.
Yeah, or a
you
Mortis
could,
engine.
Or yeah, you could put it on your Mortis engine. It would look swell.
Maybe.
Or, you know, Krell,
I see potential with it.
Then I'd make
I
it
do.
ghost-like or golden. I would not make it just straight up bones.
Krell,
Yeah.
we could talk. We could talk. We can make this into a really nice train piece for you.
You guys could, but if you look at it as it is, just look at it as they've painted it, as they put it up. That shit grieves me.
Krell, I don't do commissions, but I could do this one for you if you get the parts.
You make something nice out of it.
Yes.
I feel like the ancient aliens guy, like the narrator. Is such a thing even possible? And you're just like, yes, it is. The pyramids. Now, about the horses. What the fuck is up with the Derpy the pony at the very top?
Why
it has a
didn't
very
they?
small head.
Yes.
Well, they look like they are corporeal horses, but they're just coming up off the ground without just anything, any effort.
I get what they're going for. It's like you summon undead steeds, so I get that. But they should really have chosen between ephemeral, ghostly horses or gory zombie horses. Now they're trying to do
Exactly.
both. And the guy at the very back, is he fucking Sleipnir? Why the hell does he have five
there's
goddamn legs?
There's one behind him.
Yeah, there's 4 horses on this base. You can see
Ah.
one head below the other.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
you've been in Warhammer World. Did they flog their fucking photographers? Do they not know how to photograph anymore?
That's when you do when
yeah.
you just put stuff together for a compilation. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And the wall, I don't hate. I really like that wall actually. It could make either an expansion to the garden or more, or you could use it for a terrain piece in Warhammer. Even for 30k, if you just change around a bit, it has potential. Particularly if you play like Night Lords or something like that, which I do. I like the wall.
Just look at the symbols on the.
The fleur de lis.
Yeah, that's just easy to place it.
It's interesting. If we had Age of Sigmar podcast, would we be talking about this being a sign of the return of Bretonia?
You didn't go there. Bretonia is not gone. Bretonia is not gone.
What I'm saying is that you could just base everything on like Museo or something. If you put this, if you get
that's
stuff
true.
like this.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something which is 100% true, which is the most amazing thing about the French language ever. And this is not a joke, okay? This is true. So prepare, listeners, prepare. In Harry Potter in French, a magic wand is called une baguette de magique. Not a joke. That's what a magic wand is called in French, une baguette de magique.
Fair enough. So back to the horses.
No.
No, I
No,
just
the
want to say
healing can begin.
these
Now let's
horses,
move on to the next
no,
one.
I'm gonna mute you if you don't stop talking. These horses would look really good if you put them on a base and then maybe sculpted like they were actually trying to or bursting up from the ground or something like that. They would look really a lot better than at least if they're painted like that.
My concern is still that there's a lot of guts. So we should probably not go with the ghostly horses vibe. If you paint them like Niklas did his, they'd probably look really good.
Yeah, that's why I said we should make the ground broken so they look like they burst through the ground, not float through the ground.
Yeah, but it'd be hard, right?
Takes like 10 minutes.
No, I mean painting like rotting flesh. That's a real like painting challenge because you want a horse in decay. That sounds like a challenge.
So how
Maybe
about a giant throne of bones on top of staircase?
I'm gonna start with this one because it's based upon a piece from the Bone Church at I don't know how this is pronounced, Kutnahora. Kutnahora, and I'm gonna we should show everyone this on our Instagram later. Because,
but that's a bone throne, right?
Yeah, but the shield upon the throne is kind of the same like from the church. I'm gonna show you guys, and later we will show our listeners.
I feel like Mudagu in Zoolander 1. Am I eating crazy pills? Am I the only one noticing this? Why is there a giant bone throne at the top of a short flight of stairs?
Yep.
Why?
You could use it as a unit filler.
Or you could use it as terrain and put more pieces of a ruin next to it.
Yeah.
Or just move the throne.
Yeah. If I can be serious, if I had this, I would probably make it. Yeah, I know, right?
You are allowed to be serious.
I would take, if you look at it, I would separate the shield from the top and a lot of rib cages and the pillars to the left and right, and I would turn it into a bone altar, which might work both for a Strigoi themed army because they do sacrifice ritually both to themselves and they get sacrifices from other ghouls. And then I would use the staffs and the throne to build a unit filler or like a separate train themed item. As it is, yeah.
I'm gonna give you an idea here. The shield you can put upon a banner pole and use as your battle standard bearer.
Don't you think it's too big?
No, it's not too big. And if a vampire carries it, he's strong enough to hold it up.
Definitely.
Without any problems.
I'm having trouble seeing scale. How big do you think that shield thing is?
Big enough.
4 centimeters, something like that.
Yeah. No, I think you're entirely right, Jim. I'm just trying to understand, like, if I put a standard skeleton on the throne, is his pike going to reach the top of it? Or yeah, well, you guys are going to do something cool with this.
You can always replace his banner pole with like brass rod or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Jimmy.
It's doable.
Yeah.
Also, it will become a really, really nice throne for my Dark Elf Lord.
Yeah,
that's
might
correct.
work there. I think the terrain piece.
I like it.
Well, it's a Dark Elf.
Yeah, the terrain piece as a whole definitely has potential as like a grisly scene of sacrifices to your Ghoul King. It could work. Just as it is, as it's presented here, it's just almost silly to me. It's vaudevillian in the comedy it's presented in. But maybe I'm alone in that assessment.
Well, the silliness can be good sometimes.
Yeah. So
I think you agree with me here, Jimmy, that when we see models like this, we see more the potential what they can be than what they are sometimes.
yeah, when I look upon a model, it's more like an empty slab of stone, and I feel like this artist just looking at it and seeing what's inside.
I just
So,
wondered, does this
yeah.
thing make sense in Age of Sigmar, do you think? Do people like who buy it
Well,
for Age of
it's
Sigmar or go like, oh yeah,
yeah,
a giant bone throne? No, that makes sense.
yeah. They kind of kind of summons the bone throne, I think, because it's a spell.
It's a spell too?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a spell,
Probably
I
is.
think.
That's not like a dig. For
No,
once,
that's
it's
No,
not a dig
that
in
one
Age of
is
Sigmar.
their big
it's a
terrain piece.
It's a terrain piece.
Yeah, the other ones are the endless
Yeah.
one.
Because it's
So
not a dig against people who play Age of Sigmar.
I
I'm just
think
genuinely curious
the
if they look
terrain
at it, go like, yeah.
the terrain piece is probably like the remnants of the vampire's kingdom. It's his old throne from his old castle.
I'm looking at it that if we were gonna do like some kind of ruins on a table, because I got some really nice the Azerite ruins and stuff when I painted up them in different color schemes. They looked really nice. But you could take stuff like that or something that matches the structure beneath the throne, remove the throne, and then make like a throne room, like
Yeah.
that's been desolated and opened to the elements, basically.
It's a really good idea.
And then you could get almost an entire table or a half a table out of that just terrain just for that.
No, that could work quite well, actually. It's just my intuitive knee-jerk reaction is to like cringe in horror at what Games Workshop did what used to be fantasy. But then I remember that
Well,
fantasy is alive and well.
As long as you're not angry but just disappointed. Sanguineous.
Listen, I'm raising a 3-year-old. I say I'm not angry, I'm
You're constantly
disappointed so
angry.
many times a day.
So you're basically the Hulk then.
I'm the Hulk if the Hulk had a cardigan and sighed a lot and adjusted his glasses and looked disappointed.
So you're Bruce Banner then.
Son, Hulk not angry, father disappointed.
So, Jimmy, this year is special, isn't it?
Oh yes, it is. This year
Why?
is because this year is the 20th anniversary for Mordheim. So expect us to host a Mordheim special soon in the future. And also check out the hashtag Mordheim 2019 on Instagram for amazing conversions, because there are a group of enthusiasts that are hosting their own private event in Finland this summer. John Blanche is part of them, so it's going to be a cool event with amazing conversions, and they're going to play their own campaign of Mordheim over the course of 2 or 3 days.
Did you just say
And,
John Blanche is going to be there?
Yeah, he's going to be there.
Wow, that's amazing.
Because most of those people who are doing this event are the guys from all the Blanchitsu magazines. Yeah.
But what are we going to do to celebrate this year as a podcast?
Well, we're going to have this Mordheim special, of course. And I am also planning to host my own kind of Mordheim event later this fall. I'm still working on the kinks. I hope to release my player pack at least before the end of March. So
you say there is a reason to paint Skaven?
There will be a reason to paint the Skaven warband. There will be a reason to pledge your will to the lords of undeath. There will be a reason to stand up in the name of the Church of Sigmar. There will be a reason for a lot of stuff.
How about the shirt of Sigmar?
Yeah. The shirt of Sigmar is off his version.
The shirt of Sigmar is off, and Sigmar has poured a beer over saying, "Who wants to fight?"
Wet t-shirt contest without a t-shirt.
We all know that when Sigmar was around, they didn't really had an invented shirt yet. Shirts yet, just running around.
He was too manly for shirt.
Yeah, and then dwarves came and said, "Here's shirt and hammer. Go fight orc."
No shirt could contain him.
Yeah. Anyhow, some of your listeners might have some questions about this amazing game called Mordheim. So send your questions in via our Facebook, Instagram, or our email.
I want to repeat that. Jimmy knows a heck of a lot about fantasy, but he knows a shit ton of a lot about Mordheim. Like, he is the Mordheim maestro. He is the dude to be with.
It's all his fault.
Mordheim is my go-to game. It's my favorite game ever.
It is,
lore-wise and rule-wise.
As young people says, it is jam. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
No young person has ever said that.
I don't know. I wish Niklas was here. He could probably help us out. We need another young person. We need like an intern. We need to talk to the Swedish state about that. Anyway, so ask Jimmy. He knows so much about it.
Yeah, but as we say, we're going to have at least one more game special, maybe two, depending on how in depth we want to go with rules and stuff. So should we say like a 3 or 4 week deadline for the questions, because it will be at the earliest in episode 12 anyway?
Sounds fair.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else to say in this segment, or should we?
Yes, I've got a question, speaking to our listeners. And I mentioned it briefly before. In the end times, they did a lot of like experimental lists. If you remember, they had like the Court of the Eternity King.
They're not experimental. They're official lists.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, most of us tend to discern from. We tend to try to forget the end times. Yeah. But I was looking at one of them.
You're starting to talk like an ent or something. No, that's right.
I'm starting to talk like someone who's. I'm starting to speak like a radio speaker in Soviet who's not allowed to acknowledge anything that happened before revolution. So I'm trying to not say certain words or events or acts and not swear. But basically, what I want to know was there's a list in there which is the unification of all the different chaos elements. So that's beastmen, demons, and chaos warriors. And I wanted to do a list like that for 8th edition. So I just want to see, what would you guys think about me doing it?
Everyone,
just really trying to convince him to do it in 6th edition because that's easy.
Yeah, 6th edition was just a thing. Doable. Like, because of the sort of loaded issue about the end times, would either of you feel like offended, or like if we're discrediting him for end times, I can't just cherry pick lists? Would you guys be okay with it?
You do know that it will mean that you have to face like Aesterion or the host of the Eternity King.
As long as you give me some forewarning.
Krell, asking me, I will always say it's all up to the narrative, because I only play narrative. So if it fits the narrative, I will play it. If people want to play the Khemri and Vampire Counts combo, I'm a little reluctant to it because they hate each other.
Yeah, that really makes no sense.
But the whole chaos thing, every chaos faction should be able to work together. So I'm fine by it.
Me too. But as I'm saying, if you're going to do like a campaign weekend or something, it would be fine as well, because then we all know what we were in for and we could write a narrative for it.
Oh,
yes.
But as you were asking the listeners, so anyone got any input on this? Please send it in.
Yeah, or do you guys like play certain end times lists? If you have any sort of point of reference you can give me, please tell me. I'd like to know more. Another thing I'd like to know is, if you're a listener and you like what we're doing, please tell us. Always good to get some feedback.
And if you don't like what we're doing, give us feedback anyways.
Yeah, we did get some feedback about us not swearing enough, right?
No, that was you.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to do it like this before we're just going to start ranting on and on about this. Up in the next segment, there will be a recap, what we're going to call it, with Niklas and Jimmy.
It's kind of a summarized battle report of our battles during the holidays.
It's cool.
So coming up next is Niklas and Jimmy talking a lot about goblins and Kislev.
An image forms in your mind. The Lord of Change works in mysterious ways, my child. Look to the past and see the future. Watch this space. Or don't. You seem busy with your new tentacle and beak anyway.
Hello everyone to this segment with me, Niklas, and Jimmy.
Hello.
So we're going to talk about what we did during Christmas break, pretty much.
Yeah.
Between Christmas and New Year's.
Yes. As most of you know, we had not a little game. It's what's kind of a big game to me. Well, we played a goddamn siege battle for the first time. A true siege.
Yeah, and we had some big battles before that as well.
Oh,
We had a bunch of games. It's like
and small games.
yeah, it was exhausting.
Yeah, it was. But it was also thrilling. It was like I felt complete after the final game. I
Yeah,
was like, this is enough gaming for me this year, but I was so fine with it.
yeah. It was a great end to the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, just thinking about it, that we kind of started up with fantasy the same year.
Yeah, it was around May, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, we had a massive siege battle. I would never have thought that.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
Going through the rules in May.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And you never expected to be so stuck with 6th edition.
No. never had any thoughts about 6th edition until like July maybe.
And then Kislev happened.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, we've been planning this for a while, since like August or September at least, when I was thinking, oh, maybe I can go to Sweden for Christmas, and maybe I can go to Jimmy's place. I'm gonna have some time spare anyway.
Yeah.
So that'd be a cool thing. And then like both of us just started spawning ideas like, oh yeah, this would be so cool. Yeah, that thing would be cool. And we were just sitting and chatting like, oh yeah, this sounds so great.
I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And I was like scouring eBay and all kinds of buy and sell pages for stuff for siege battles. I was like, I have 3 of these siege towers. A 4th is unbuilt. I did have these grand plans to make like the huge moon-like one.
Yeah.
If the terrain piece for the Gloomspite Git had been released in time, I would have built that one into a siege machine. I sure would have, because that kit is huge.
I think this thing went pretty well because me and Jimmy are both the same kind of insane and also fast builders and painters.
Yeah.
Because we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a massive siege battle. Let's build an army each in a couple of months.
And we did.
Yeah, and like I do think that I'm blessed in that I can paint pretty fast and be happy with it. I know a lot of people are just way too perfectionist to ever be fine with an army and paint it fast. But you are also a fast painter.
Yeah,
so that's just awesome.
I love to cheat when I paint. It's the most important rule. How do I dumb this down in 2 or fewer steps? Well, make it 3.
So yeah, we started planning, and then we'll make this campaign. Well, let's have a few battles. If I'm gonna stay there for a few days, let's just draw it out and just like do the kind of things that you always wanted to do.
Yeah,
that's like the whole thing about this
whole
starting
thing,
up with fantasy again. It's like just do the things that you always wanted to do when you were younger.
Yeah,
but you never had time, the opponent, or cash to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like now when we're adults, we have resources somehow. I mean, like, God.
Yeah.
Money is no problem. Well, it is. Depends on what you do with
problem,
it.
But it's like, and you have months to plan it. Like when you're a kid, like you lose interest after a couple of months or something.
Yeah.
But
we're
now we're
hobbyists.
Yeah, we're old grumblers now.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna plan this out, and we're not gonna play until like 4 months ahead. But like, we can look forward to it.
Yeah. I'm kind of used to planning like this because thanks to the 30K community, because I always plan so far ahead, making my new army or something.
Yeah, because like 30K is very event based, so you always plan your armies for events.
Yeah, I have never play tested any list for any game ever.
Yeah, it's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I brought over all my Kislev stuff, and I did not pack it properly for the flight. So
Such a shame.
Yeah, I didn't take any pictures because what happened to him was just horrible, and I want to flush it out of my memory.
I saw some of models firsthand. It was a train wreck.
Yeah,
but you managed to save them.
Yeah, I mean,
With
you
some
saw
ship-
them. Yeah, you saw them when at least when they were put together. When I
Yeah.
opened like the packaging,
Oh god, it must have been a horror.
yeah, 5 Ungol horse archers were the only ones that were still 100% put together when I opened it.
God.
And I'm kind of glad, like my brain and my heart is disconnected a bit because my brain is like, okay, everything is fucked, but it can be repaired. At least none of the lances are broken or anything like that. I just sat down and started gluing, but at the same time, my heart was like, no. It was awful, but I put them together, got them ready to battle. At least, like, yeah, they were chipped, but if you were standing a couple of feet away, you didn't notice it that bad. They still had like 90% of the paint on them.
Yeah.
So then we started. Actually, I went to your place to help you finishing the last of the bits.
I was basing all my models and finishing up some of the paint job. I hadn't painted any of my heroes or lords until the night before our big startup.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The stuff that you had painted looked fantastic. I'm
Thank
still
you.
like,
how did you do it? How did you do it in such a little time?
Yeah, like all the goblins looked awesome, but they're like a lot of them look the same. So if you saw one, you've seen most of them.
Yeah.
But you had a lot of special units as well. I really liked your trolls. I love the color you made them in.
Yeah, same. Because most of you listeners might know that GW and many other players paint their trolls blue for some reason.
Yeah, pretty bright blue.
Yeah. I went for the gray approach.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with the results.
Yeah, they really look like stone trolls.
Talking about stone trolls, guess who might have bought the new kits today?
Yeah, Goblin Army will end at like 9,000 points.
Probably. Oh yeah. The orcs are looking further and further away. The goblins are just growing.
Yeah, and also the giant that you painted looks amazing.
I love how it ended up. I'm still gonna do a little bit of more freehand job on its clothes, but all in all, I love the model. I'm very happy with the paint job.
Yeah,
and
the listeners, is the older Marauder giant.
Yeah,
it's really great. I love it. His hair. I just want to put my hand in his hair and just
frizzle it up. Oh god, I should have painted him a ginger.
Yeah, he has no soul. Yeah, so that was great. So we started. I came over to your place, dry brushing bases, and then you put snow on the bases. And then we went over to your game club, which is awesome.
Thank you.
The place itself is like, yeah, decent space in the cellar of this apartment building, but it's just full of so much great terrain. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. The guys who I share the basement with make excellent terrain. They're all, well, to be experts in creating terrain. It's the terrain is often unplayable because it's hard to place models on it and around it, but it looks lovely.
Yeah.
So a lot of the terrain is modular. Sometime I might show the one that I showed you with the cave. If you remember, I opened up the top. There was a cave inside.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, the really big piece.
Yeah.
You got to start playing some fantasy with the guys there, and just display the terrain you got.
Yeah.
Like all the pieces have so much character.
We recently started up Border Princess Campaign 2.
Oh, great.
Set in Sylvania, so I got a few planned battles ahead.
Sweet.
So eventually, I will post some pictures.
Sounds great. Yeah, I guess our followers can find them on Instagram, on our Instagram page.
Oh, they will.
So we got to the club and we set up, and we played 2 battles that evening.
Yeah. Skirmish game.
Yeah.
Followed by this really fun ambush game.
Yeah. So we're writing up the story.
Yeah.
The problem is that it's a lot more fun to build new models than to sit down and write.
Yeah, it is.
But we promise you, we will put out like an album with story and like all the pictures and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But the story is that my guys, Alexander and Ivan, are writing down to respond to a call for aid at this fortress, Fort Jakova. When they get there, they meet up with this commander of the fort, which is, he's got a kind of a reputation for being a drunk. And he's like, oh yeah, there's goblins about in these hills. It's been quiet for too long. And they're like, what do you mean it's been quiet? Like nothing ever happens here. It's always quiet. I'm like, yeah, but now the hag has given me fortune that there's gonna be something happening. So I sent out a patrol, but they haven't returned. And I'm like, oh god damn it. So yeah, we'll ride out and find this patrol then, I guess.
And meanwhile, my goblin war boss, Gitfimpa, has recently taken over this tribe of night goblins for himself, which is why they have been so inactive in the areas because of all the infighting. And he has set his eyes upon this Fort Jakova because he knows he recently got everyone's attention to him, and he needs to give them a good fight or something. He needs to prove himself in front of all the other goblins, so he's planning to take over this fort for himself.
Yeah, gotta get a prize.
Yeah.
So the first battle we did was like a prelude, kind of, with this lost patrol. They were sent out to scout the area, and they're set up in like some ruins out in the forest.
Yeah.
And the scenario went pretty much as planned. They just got slaughtered.
My goblins routed in the end. It was weak.
They didn't rout, did they?
Yeah.
They ate all of my guys.
No, the first game, my goblins routed. They fled.
I just remember your squigs eating all of my guys.
Yeah, they did, but I was the one who fled in the end.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe that's right. Because then like some guys got away. That's true. So
but
like
yeah, squigs were really dangerous in skirmish games.
Yeah, those 2 attacks at strength 5.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
That's deadly.
And then meanwhile, Alexander and Ivan are riding out to look for them with some riders. And Alexander's like, hey, Ivan, I'll bet my lancers can find these guys before your Ungals. And I was like, well, I don't think we should split up force, no? But then Alexander convinces him to do it anyway. Like, oh, screw it. So Alexander rides away with his lancers, and Ivan rides away with his Ungals. And then Ivan catches up to this patrol, or what's left of it, and they're like, "Oh shit, there's goblins everywhere in these hills." And I was like, "Shit, gotta go back to Alexander."
And that's the day the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah, the fire goblins. So meanwhile, Alexander is riding through this valley, with his lancers. So they're riding in a nice line.
Yeah.
Or
It
a
was
column.
pretty. It was really pretty.
It looked cool. And we made that table really well. It worked out really cool. It looked really nice.
Oh yeah.
So they were riding in from this one side, and then they were supposed to reach the other side, and then the goblins attacked from both of the sides of the valley.
Yeah, running downhill, spears and stabbas high up in the air, screaming with their witty voices, and it was such a slaughter.
Yeah. So Ivan was gonna come in with his reserves later, so we're gonna roll for that. And in the meantime, Alexander just had to survive with his forces.
Yeah, and you learned how deadly those fanatics are.
They're just insane. That game was like, it was not that bad.
No, it's true.
They kill a lot of stuff, but I kind of managed to avoid them by going more to one side.
Yeah.
And the lancers were really maneuverable, and it really paid off.
Yeah.
In that game, because I could ride around your forces and try not engage.
Yeah.
And I think your squigs fled or something.
No, my squig hopper. No,
the herders.
The herders fled. So my
so
squig unit
exploded.
Yeah, but it was crazy. I killed more squigs with my own squigs.
Yeah. So it's like,
I think I could kill like one of your lancers, and the rest were my own squigs.
Yeah. I remember it was like that worked out better than expected.
Yeah.
And then you had some really crappy rolls. I ran down some goblins, and it was a lancer unit, and I had like 5 left, and I turned around. I was like, oh, I'll be safe on top of this hill. But then your trolls have like movement 6, right?
Yeah.
So they were well within charge range. I had severely miscalculated the distance.
My trolls charged one unit, and my giants charged the other.
Yeah.
So up on the hills, my big guys are fighting your leftover knights, and suddenly, from the horizon, comes the horse archers.
Yeah, the light horse.
Yeah.
So they just storm in and shoot some arrows, and now they're positioned behind the blocks of goblins that are left.
Took them by surprise.
Yeah, and on your turn,
the multi-charge you did on the 5th turn, that was devastating, man.
Yeah. And at the same time, your stone trolls, when they charge in my lancers, they just fumbled totally. They missed all of their attacks.
I should have used vomit.
And I think I did like 1 wound or something.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, so I outnumber you. You charged up a hill. I got a flag, and you did no wounds. And I was like, I win by 3?
Wow.
What? But you charged me. Like, how is this possible? So my last pieces ran down the trolls who charged in. It's crazy.
Oh, it was.
I think they're stubborn as well, but you failed or something.
I wasn't stubborn.
Oh no, there's the giant.
Yeah, the giant. But he also failed.
Yeah. So at the same time as the Ungos charge in, like rear and flank, charging all the goblins that are left, and just massacred them. The big guys that could have like smashed stuff just failed because of dice.
The only thing I had left at the end of the game was my little guys, my snotlings. A 2 unit of snotlings, 3 pastes each, untouched.
Yeah, they've been walking around a lot that game.
Yeah.
We're
so cute.
Yeah, it looked really dark for me in the beginning. Like I really had to try and save the lancers, and then when the Ungos turned up, it just flipped totally.
Yeah, it was like a heroic intervenience.
Intervention.
Intervention. Thank you. A heroic intervention. It was a really cinematic moment. You should have been there.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh.
So that was the second game that
Yeah.
evening and the last of it, and then after that we started setting up the fortress.
Yeah.
And then we're like, how are we gonna set?
We didn't set up the fortress just yet. We second day we played the first battle on the large field.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But we did plan how to set up the fortress the evening before.
We did. Yeah.
Just to get a rough idea. Like, how should we actually place these walls? Because we hadn't really thought about it. And your friend had painted the walls.
Yeah.
And they looked really cool.
We came up with this idea like we should have one wall more. It would be so perfect. So I set up all night trying to copy his painting style, and I almost succeeded. The wall melts in great with the other sections. So I did a good job.
Because we were like, oh yeah, you can set up the fortress, and then we came up with this idea like, oh, this looks so cool.
We need one wall more.
Yeah, and it looked freaking amazing. It
really paid off. Oh god,
I haven't really seen anyone put the wall like that either.
No, me neither.
But it really looks
the other
like
way around. I've seen it
like extended forward.
Yeah,
yeah. Because now it really looked like a big city gate.
Yeah.
Because if you just put it like straight, it just kind of looks flat somehow.
Yeah, kind of boring.
No, this is really great. So yeah, you set up like another and just painted like a maniac.
Yeah, painted that one and a couple of heroes until 4 a.m. Got a couple of hours of sleep, and then was time for battle 2. Yeah, we did the second big battle before the other skirmish games, right?
Yeah. So now it's like like a field battle. Like now we know the goblins are coming, so let's set up like to try and halt them.
Yeah.
A bit. And this battle was a freaking massacre.
Oh yeah. I don't remember which of my big bosses led the battle. Oh. I have so many. It's so hard to remember all the names.
Yeah.
Wasn't Makari. Oh, there. It was. Let me see here. It was Toughgit, the Great Bad Moon, as they call him.
Yeah. So this battle, I truly learned how hard the fanatics are.
Oh yeah.
It was just madness.
Oh yeah. I mean, like this was. It was horrible to watch, but it was fun at the same time.
Yeah. So my center just line up for like multiple charges, supported by light horse. My light horse started running up, and then you shot him with some magic.
Yeah.
And then like, oh yeah, I don't have to take a morale check or panic test. And you're like, yeah, I got this thing that allows me to do it again. Haha.
Oh my god.
Annihilated them. And I think they fled, and then that led to a chain reaction of some other units fleeing.
Yeah.
And then it was like, all right, I'll at least ride up with my lancers. And then they triggered the fanatics, and the fanatics just slaughtered everything.
Oh yeah.
And led to another panic test. That led to another panic test, and the entire center just.
It never ends.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, should I start with Alexander? Like, yeah, you say like you'll take 2d6 hits because you'll stop on the fanatic. Like, whatever. So it ended up being like 4d6 hits on the way there. So they just got mangled. And anytime on the left flank, I had one unit of horse archers just ran around and harassed you, like refusing to die. And on the right side, that was actually pretty interesting. In the Griffin Legion and the Kossars were fighting the giant and a unit of goblins.
That was a hard fought battle.
Yeah, I remember like the giant charged the Kossars, and they shot him with their bows. I think he had like 2 wounds left or something. He's like, oh yeah, I can kill him now. I can kill him. Just stand and shoot. And I didn't roll any sixes. Like shit. And then you picked up the unit champion and put him in your pants.
Yeah. He belongs there.
Yeah, so the other guys had to lap around and just chop him down with their axes.
Oh yeah.
Just like Timber Tree.
Oh no. Timber.
Yeah. So
yeah.
it was
in the
a
end,
massacre,
he
but
fell.
still a lot of fun moments.
Oh yeah. I learned never place your squigs on your right flank. Put them in the middle.
Yeah.
You need to use your squigs, man.
So that's like the field battle. They did not stop the goblins. They kept forward.
Yeah.
Going forward. And then after that, we had another skirmish with a cart, like some supplies going to the fortress.
Yeah.
This is also a massacre because you could take like endless amounts of goblins.
Yeah, it was like I was supposed to field 250 points of skirmish troops, and you were supposed to field 200, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
And I was like,
now I was supposed to get to the other side.
Yeah.
But you could just put so many goblins in the way that
I mean,
it would just be impossible.
Most of my goblins are like 2 points each. 3 points each at most expensive. 4 points each if I want to field them with nets.
Yeah, so you could just put like, I think you had like 20 goblins just standing on the road, and then you had another 20 goblins just standing on the side with bows, just shooting everything that.
And in the midst, I had this goblin big boss.
Yeah. And I had like 8 guys.
Yeah. So yeah, points matter.
Let's just say the supplies did not reach the fortress.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of those skirmish games are like kind of skewed to one side.
Yeah, and well, not all of them. The thing now was that like you have a mostly cavalry army and elite units. I have the rabble, really dirt cheap things.
Yeah, but like at that
on
scale,
on a skirmish level, quantity makes quality.
Yeah, because you pay 3 points for a goblin with a bow, right?
Yeah.
And I pay 9 points for a Cossor with a bow, and
and
at that scale, it doesn't really matter.
We have the same ballistic skill, and you have
same toughness.
Same toughness, same strength. My weapon skill is worse, but I'm not supposed to fight you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was tough.
It was.
And then after that, we had another skirmish. Sabotage the gate.
Yes.
Mission. It was really cool. So it was like the evening before the big battle. They come in and try and sabotage it. Before that, we set up the fortress though, so it was just really nice, and set up like a big hill before it, and set up the siege engines.
It was so thematic.
Yeah. And then the goblins snuck up at night trying to sabotage the gate.
Yeah, and they weren't supposed to raise the alarm, but at the first attempt, they raised the alarm.
Yeah, I think maybe we should try like using the Necromunda sentry rules next time.
Yeah.
Because like Games Workshop have made a lot of different sentry rules throughout the years. Like I remember in 3rd edition 40k they had some rules, and then they had another one for battle missions in 5th edition 40k, and then they have this 3rd one for fantasy skirmish, and then they have another. But like with all the ones that I've used, I think the one in Necromunda works the best.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, you raised the alarm, and then I managed to repel you from the walls.
You were like, you added D6 new models every goddamn turn.
Yeah.
I never stood a chance.
And I had guys just guarding the mechanism that you were supposed to get, so they would have held a couple of turns, even if you managed, because you didn't get past the parapet of the wall.
No.
So that was kind of hard for you. But it's nice. I like that. Like the skirmish missions were, like they played out
Like
as you wanted them to play out.
Yeah.
Like the caravan was supposed to be like destroyed, and
yeah.
this was like a sneaky mission, but
Yeah,
they were supposed to guard.
I mean, if you had won the caravan, you would have gotten free upgrades for your walls.
Yeah.
And if I sabotaged the gate, it would have been open for me to just waltz in.
Yeah.
So both missions weighted a lot in favor for the other one, but no one got to use these kind of things. So
yeah,
I'm still
So-
fine with.
yeah. So the next morning, the goblins started moving forward.
Oh yeah.
And it was pretty funny because like we have read the siege rules, but we were not like you got to play stuff to actually know how stuff works.
Yeah, and also something I learned by my mistakes on many things during this game, but it was I feel like a general learning from my mistakes, which was the fun part. I like put all my effort on trying to get my siege towers up to the walls.
Yeah.
But I kind of forgot that siege towers are really, really slow.
Yeah. So the thing with them is that like they move to D6 before the game starts. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. But then after that, they can't march.
Yeah, they can only move. So
yeah, so they move really slowly, and then they can charge double the movement. But it's gonna take, like, if you got movement 4, which is pretty standard. So and you have to start 24 inches away. So if you get unlucky with your 2d6 roll in the beginning, it might take you like 4 or 5 turns to get into combat.
And big units doesn't really help in siege battles.
No.
I felt that it was thematic, but from a strategic perspective, I should have used like only 20-man units, all armored ladders.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't have any ladders.
No, I didn't. I even had points over to use them. Like I could have bought like 4 or 5 ladders and put them in units.
Yeah. So the goblins started moving forward. You had a battering ram and 3 siege towers.
Yep.
And 3 or 4 rock lobbers.
4 rock lobbers.
4 is crazy. And then the rock lobbers started shooting at the wall.
Yeah.
And get some good guesses in the beginning, some good hits.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh yeah, so I hit the wall. Now what? What happens? And I was like, I kind of think it works like this. And you're like, really? Does it work like that? Doesn't it work like this? And then we looked in the rule, like, how does it actually work?
And the rule book doesn't really tell how it works because it's misprinted. We had to look in the old siege book from 5th edition to get the rules right.
It's like it just went round and round, and the rule book's like, to be able to damage the wall, use the wall damage chart. And then we looked at the wall damage chart and was like, well, how do we apply the wall damage chart?
And the wall damage chart is like 2d6. Where does the 2d6 come from?
Yeah. It didn't mention 2d6 anywhere. It's just that 2d6 and here are the results. Up to like 36. Like, what?
Yeah,
how does that work?
What is happening? What is happening, Desuka?
But like we did figure out that you should roll
the
strength of the attack.
The strength plus the number of wounds.
Yeah, the number of wounds that the damage.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, how does that work with units? Like, if trolls wanted to hit it,
then it's one because if it's multiple hits, it still counts as one hit. The number of wounds caused by one attack is the important thing.
Oh yeah, it's really hard to damage walls.
yeah, it really is. But eventually your units can whittle the walls down, but you need to weaken them a lot first.
Yeah, because like you really need siege weapon to damage these walls. It is really cool. Like if you think a regular cannon is strength 10 D3 wounds,
Yeah.
You can get up to 13 with an attack. I think you need
and
14
you need
or
14.
15.
Yeah, 14 to really do something.
Yeah.
And me rolling d6 damage on the rock lobbers because it's strength 8 d6 damage.
Yeah.
I need to roll a
5 or 6.
yeah, to do anything, and I kept rolling 4s.
Yeah, but it's really cool that you can basically only damage the walls with catapults and great cannons.
Yeah.
So it's very thematic. Like you shouldn't really be able to damage a wall with a shitty cannon. Like the Gallagher gun, it's just gonna. Like,
oh,
like
nothing happened.
Yeah. So you need to bring siege gear to a siege battle. That's cool.
Yeah. So everyone, don't forget your ropes and hooks. Don't forget the ladders. And God forbid, try to use Empire Great Cannons.
Yeah.
Speaking of cannons, I learned how to snipe them out.
Yeah, I had one cannon up in one of the towers, and it was really effective at shooting siege towers. And siege towers are so weak; it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculously weak. It's like toughness 7, 4 wounds.
Yeah,
it's like
crossbows can hurt them. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like the whole point of them is to resist like arrows and gunshots.
I was like, it has to have some kind of armor save, and it don't.
Yeah.
They are a lot of stronger in 8th edition because in 8th edition they count as buildings.
Yeah.
And they're worth 1,000 point each.
I still can't believe that. I got to get those points. Like how can something that just gets your unit from point A to point B be worth 1,000 points? It's ridiculous.
Because buildings in 8th edition are like unkillable.
Yeah, but even if it's like an unkillable way of getting your units to the freaking castle, which is the whole point of the battle, it shouldn't take 1,000 points out of the points you can use.
But I don't know how much the fortress itself costs in a siege battle.
Yeah, it's like if both the sides get like 10,000 points worth of siege equipment, you might as well just say it's free anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, you slowly roll towards the gate.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I did some sallies with my cavalry because like I wanted shit to happen. First sally ended in a massacre with his fanatics smashing my cavalry, as usual.
Yeah.
Standard.
It happens.
Yeah. So I had to rush some of my reserve cavalry to the gate.
Yeah.
Because I felt like the gate is where the action is gonna be.
Yeah, and it did eventually.
Yeah.
Because Fergus, my giant, stepped up. And he fought.
So you had a big golden block with a battering ram.
Yeah.
And then the trolls were slowly lumbering when they passed their stupidity checks once in a while.
Yeah, and more often on their own leadership than my warboss leadership, so that's a good sign.
Yeah. And then the giant stepped over there as well.
Yeah.
I charged out with some more cavalry and Ivan this time. And eventually... were they fighting the trolls first or afterwards?
You were fighting the giant first. The trolls were later. The trolls... well, we'll get to the trolls later because Ivan did fell the giant.
Yeah. The giant tried to pick him up once. And
it was like, this is my final shot to win the battle at the gates. And it was like he was reaching slowly. Ivan struck.
But then, when the giant picks someone up, you get one attack to wound the giant, and then you'll drop him, like bite his hand away with his sword.
Yeah.
And he did. It's like, oh my god, thank you. Otherwise, you roll on another chart, like it's pick up and then you roll what happens. So it can be thrown away and just kind of die, or be put into his pants, or
and thrown into combat again. So he like strikes D6 strength, yada yada. Ignores armor saves on the target unit.
So we managed to fend off the giant, and then they slew the giant.
Yeah.
And scared off about the goblins holding the battering ram.
Oh yeah, they fled.
Yeah.
And then the trolls stepped up.
Yeah, and they managed to beat the Lancers.
Yeah.
With Ivan wounded but hurrying through the gate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in this battle, Alexander wasn't in it because he'd been pretty mauled by the fanatics. So he had a lot of broken ribs and probably a broken arm and a leg or something. He was just incapacitated.
Mending his wounds.
Yeah. Ivan did manage to hold off a lot of the stuff at the gate, and then he rode back in and closed the gate. And by this time, they had reinforced the area. Meanwhile, I had shot down 2 of the towers.
Yeah. Goddamn cannon.
Yeah, one was really close to getting in. The Squig Tower was really close to making it home.
It would have been so fun getting the Squig Tower up.
Yeah, then I rolled a lucky 6 with my crossbows.
Yeah.
And
that battle would have been devastating on the walls.
So I was like, all right, this entire wall section is clear. So the paymaster's bodyguard with the Czechist leader, all right, let's just leave this place and head toward the gate. Yeah. But on the other side, on the opposite wall, a siege tower did make it into contact.
Oh yeah, and it was none other than the big boss who led my first winning battle, so to say.
It's the most successful leader you have.
Yeah, he is some competition to to my war boss, who managed to do nothing during the whole game, except sharing his leadership, of course, which is why I actually bring him.
Yeah,
he's not a fighter. He's a leader.
It's really funny that the wall section you took. I was like, I had my Kossars in the tower next to it to be able to counterattack.
Yeah.
And I changed the position of them right before the battle. It's like, because they were next to the paymaster's bodyguard first. It's like, oh, should I have him this tower or that tower? This tower or that tower? And then we were about to begin. It's like, no, wait, I need to change the position of this unit. And it did pay off because they were able to counterattack. I don't know, like if I think they lost the counterattack anyway.
Yeah, they lost it and eventually fled. Yeah. My goblins stood upon the walls.
Yeah. At that time, though,
new targets.
At that time, I think that was the end of round 6 or 7.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
End of round 6.
Yeah, and so we decided to call it there.
Yeah.
So my guys had successfully held the gate. Those guys could have pushed on. I don't know if they would have been able to make it all the way into the city. But they did manage to take one of the wall sections.
Yeah.
So we didn't really like come up with like what happened next. Like what's the story? If any of the goblins remain in the city, or if they all withdrew,
to me they all withdrew, but the big boss and his lads, Tough Git and his boys, so to say, they're not happy with Gitfimpa's leadership. So eventually he's gonna challenge him, but not today. Today is not the day.
Yeah, he's out for revenge, both against him and against Fort Jakova.
Yeah.
He was the one who could have taken it, but he got ordered to retreat.
Yeah. And I kind of guess, since you and I will also be playing in the Border Princess campaign, I assume your guys are heading south eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really much I can partake in the Border Princess campaign.
Well, now and then. I don't think the other guys are gonna play that often either, but I'm always open for travel.
Yeah, we definitely got some grudges to take care of after this battle. It was amazing to play a siege battle. It was like a childhood dream come true.
Yeah, and this woke up so many dreams. I mean, and ideas, because we spoke a bit of doing chaos siege battles in the chaos wastes, using the what's it called, the the other siege, the fortress that GW have now.
Dreadfort?
Yes, the Dreadfort.
Yeah, it's really cool. I actually don't think they sell it anymore.
I think they do. I'm gonna check it out.
They sell like a section of it, but they don't sell the entire thing anymore.
The whole kit? No, that's true. You need to buy every piece separately.
Yeah, but they don't sell. I don't think they sell all the pieces. That's the thing. They only sell like one of the pieces, but they don't sell the towers, I think.
Kiss Dreadhold. Oh god, no! They only sell the walls. No.
It's super weird.
I'm so sad. I think they'll start selling them eventually. Otherwise, there's eBay.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely future plans. It was super inspiring. After that, it was just like 3 days of gaming exhaustion.
Oh yeah, I have never been that exhausted from a game all my life.
Yeah,
it was like so intense.
Yeah, like both of us when we were like, okay, so this game is over.
Like this is the aftermath, big battle.
Yeah, that was awesome. And now, like, both of us are doing some other projects in the meantime.
Yeah, most of your listeners know, I'm doing a Mordheim project.
Balls deep in Mordheim.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you've been doing some amazing stuff, like all the characters inspired from the artwork.
Oh yeah,
so cool.
And there's more coming.
I've unpacked all the dwarfs that I collected in Sweden. All my old dwarfs. So they're gonna be like the projects for this year. I just got Boris left to paint for Kislev, actually, for my army.
Ooh.
That's Serena, actually, and then I'm gonna do like a Kislev warband for Mordheim, because apparently Mordheim is a thing this year.
Yeah. It's 50 years old, so yeah.
But once I'm done with the 2 named characters to Kislev, that's gonna be the Kislevite army done.
Nice.
So that's great.
Yeah.
So I got like 2,500 points of them. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, and my goblin forces are still growing. I'm
never ending.
I'm still unpacking night goblins from my bits boxes and everything. Like, God, I have painted up like 160 night goblins, and I have like way more. And with the new releases, oh God.
Yeah, I tell you, man, they're gonna end at 9,000 points.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that. Well, thankfully, I do plan to stay with a strictly night goblin theme. So the only thing I can't field is war machines. But I can field more units of squigs, more units of trolls. So see where I'm going.
Yeah,
with the new
aren't
plastic
you doing like
kits.
a small wolf warband as well?
I want to do it. It will take a little bit more time than I expected, because I haven't figured out how to convert my wolf riders to look properly. There are some slight rumors about new models coming, because when before this whole new Night Goblin release in Age of Sigmar, so to say, they just removed the trolls, the squig hoppers, the squigs, the squig herders. They just removed everything. There are now new plastic kits, and they didn't even warn anyone.
Yeah.
Usually they do have the last chance to buy option.
Yeah.
And recently they did remove the wolf chariot, the wolf riders. Common orcs are going away too. And since I love reading lore, I did get the Age of Sigmar book for the grots, so to say, and read a bit, and they do mention the common goblins in it. So I think they might come back with new models.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they have removed a lot of shit that they aren't bringing out. Like a lot of, I don't think you can even get like regular dwarf warriors online anymore, and a lot of the Empire stuff is gone.
Yeah, but they did warn before they removed the Empire stuff.
Maybe. All right. Thank you very much for those awesome games.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for visiting.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have some siege battles in the future. I'm super pumped.
Oh yeah, me
gonna
too.
have to fill the fortress with my dwarves.
Ooh. I'm gonna attack with my night goblins once again.
All right. I don't know what will be after this segment, but you will find out.
Yes, time will tell.
Altdorf Advertising Agency, the AAA is now hiring. Exciting times ahead. We represent everyone. Everything is fine, citizen. Remember, Altdorf Advertising Agency, the AAA. For all your anti-Ratman propaganda needs.
And welcome back. We just want to have some few words before we bid you farewell. And for this little section, we have lost Krell because he had to go make dinner or something really odd.
I think he's gonna loot some graveyards.
Yeah, you know how ghouls are.
He a carrion eater.
Yeah, but for the next episode, we have some plans, and there will be vampires. Lots of them.
So there will be enough Krell for everyone in next episode.
Yeah, we're just gonna turn on the recording and leave for an hour or two and see what happens.
Yeah. So expect vampire counts, both 6th and 8th edition. Krell is gonna go through some differences between the army books, the lore, how they play. So stay tuned for that one.
There's rumors of a potential third podcast, we should say, because there is already a second one, which is Electro Counts. I think people have heard of that one.
Yeah.
No, but if not, check it out.
Because Niklas met some guys during a 30K event, and they were showing a lot of interest in starting their own fantasy podcast. So I think they're UK based. So
yeah, this one will be out of the UK.
Yeah. So when we know more, we will let you know. It's always nice to have other podcasts around.
This is true. And with those words, we're going to say like this. The 6th edition Executioners are better looking than the 8th edition Executioners by far.
I hate the 8th edition Executioners. They are ugly.
Good one. And good night.
Good night, everyone. And remember, stay square.